before we have all the items rolled out on the program menu this morning, let's join Beto Bryan of our Town News Desk for the first news bulletin of the day. Hello, Beto. Good morning, and over to you.
Hello, Chijoke. Good morning to you. Welcome to ADBN News at 7. I am Beto Bryan. In the news this morning, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the expansion of the presidential initiative on compressed natural gas to include electric vehicles as part of efforts to reposition Nigeria's clean transportation strategy. The initiative will now operate as the Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas and Electric Vehicles, that is, PICGN and EV. The expanded program will coordinate the development of both gas-powered and electric mobility nationwide. It will continue the rollout of CNG infrastructure, including refueling stations and vehicle conversion programs, while also driving the deployment of electric vehicles and charging infrastructure across the country. The President has directed the immediate rollout of affordable vehicle conversion kits and increased deployment of mobile refueling units to boost access. The initiative is also expected to collaborate with the Credit Corps Nigeria and other partners to provide financing options that make clean energy transportation more accessible to Nigerians. Vice President Kashim Shettima has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to human rights and the implementation of the international humanitarian law at the 2026 High-Level Humanitarian Law Dialogue in Abuja. He said the government integrates humanitarian principles into security operations and legal frameworks, including the African Union Kampala Convention, to protect civilians and internally displaced persons. Vice President Shettima highlighted measures such as military training, child protection systems, accountability for sexual violence, and integrating IHL into education, stressing that humanitarian law must be lived, not merely legislated. He also emphasized collaboration with civil society and international partners, praising support from the UN, ICRC, and ICC, while Attorney General Lateef Fagbemi and Solicitor General Beatrice Jedi-Agba underlined ongoing reforms to align Nigeria's justice system with global humanitarian standards. Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has unveiled revised voter education manuals to combat voter apathy and encourage participation in the 2027 general elections. The initiative, developed with the national and international partners, including Kimpact Development Initiative (KDI), features a national voter education manual and a youth-focused civic and voter education manual. INEC officials highlighted declining voter turnout as a major concern, noting participation dropped from over 60% in 2003 to below 30% in recent elections. The manuals aim to improve understanding of the electoral process, covering party primaries, campaign finance, electoral offenses, and the use of technologies like the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS). KDI described the launch as a strategic intervention, emphasizing engagement of young voters as agents of change. INEC stressed that while legal reforms under the Electoral Act 2026 improve transparency and sustained civic education is essential to restore public trust and ensure broader electoral participation. All Progressive Congress will hold its 8th National Convention on March 27 to 28 in Abuja. At a global media briefing, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, also co-chair of the convention committee, described the event as a defining moment in the party's political journey and outlined its expectation for the gathering. The minister emphasized the party's readiness to host delegates and stakeholders for the landmark event. ADBN correspondent Erima Okpo completes the report.
From the founding as a coalition of progressive forces to its current position as the national ruling party, the All Progressive Congress says its 8th National Convention will reinforce unity while charting a renewed course for leadership and governance. With the theme Unity in Progress, Consolidating the Renewed Hope Agenda, the convention is expected to bring together delegates from across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking at the media briefing, Alhaji Idris Mohammed described the theme as more than just a slogan, but a statement of direction, aligning party processes with national governance priorities.
APC will hold its 8th National Convention in Abuja this weekend, starting from tomorrow, Friday, the 27th of March, and ending on Saturday, the 28th of March, 2026. The convention hopes to bring together delegates from across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory for policy engagement, leadership elections, and a formal transition to a new set of party executives representing both decision-making platform and also a moment of reflection, consolidation, and direction setting for the next phase of our journey. This briefing, therefore, like I said earlier, is meant to share the purpose, readiness, and values behind this momentous event.
The minister emphasized that the convention reflects both continuity and renewal within the party, highlighting its evolution, resilience, and structured approach to leadership transition. He noted that the gathering will also showcase achievement under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and deepened the party's commitment to the renewed hope agenda.
All the committees that have been set up by the party have finalized assignments and operational systems are set to ensure smooth coordination, efficiency, and order. Every detail has been attended to so that the convention proceeds without avoidable disruption. This is not just a routine political exercise. It is a demonstration of the APC's commitment to democratic practice, organizational discipline, and collective decision-making. It is a clear sign of the party's maturity as a responsible political institution.
The party says the two-day convention will serve as both a decision-making platform and a moment of reflection, featuring policy engagement, leadership elections, and transitions to a new set of party executives. From the Federal Capital Territory, Erima Okpo, ADBN News.
State Chairman of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, across the country and the FCT have declared their loyalty to the leadership of Musliu Akinsonya amid ongoing leadership tensions. The endorsement followed a meeting at the union's national headquarters where officials described a recent attempt by a rival faction to take over as a failure. The union's General Secretary, Kayode Agbenyingi, accused the faction led by Tajuddin Barua of orchestrating violence and destruction at the Secretariat in August 2023.
The campaign of colony they are putting to the public that we had nothing to show. This document shows the chronicle of what has transpired between August 2023 up to date. This document is a chronicle. This document chronicles every transaction that we made within the period under review.
Agbenyingi added that many cases claimed as victories by the rival group remains pending in court, with an appeal filed and a stay of execution obtained. Meanwhile, the National Financial Secretary, U.M. James, linked the crisis to disputed congresses and delegate conferences since 2019.
The substantive case that challenged Alhaji Baruwa's election on the 24th, that is that zonal delegate conference, the only election, the only delegate conference that would have given him the right, if he won properly, by the right means, that is the only proper means that would have given him the right of coming back as the president. But that he did not get right. And for that, I don't think there's any law, there's any issue, there's any way that he can get it right. All this one is doing is going through the back door.
Union officials reiterated their commitment to due process and urged members and the public to rely on verified records as legal proceedings continue.
When I was fighting in Edo State, for Odionlaye become a state chairman for good 21 years, which they never see in life. I took him to court. He is not worth to be president. For the second tenure, I told him before that he see the first tenure, he will never see the second tenure. By the grace of God.
You can see what happens in the national headquarters here. When Baruwa went to go and hire talks who are not members of NNTW, miscreants, hooligans, they burst into the office. This office, he said, you want to acquire, you want to come and stay.
The High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT in Abuja, has issued a bench warrant for the arrest of Senator Kabiru Tanimu Turaki SAN after he failed to appear for arraignment on a criminal charge filed by the Inspector General of Police. Justice Peter Kekemeke adjourned the case to April 22 for Turaki's arraignment, ruling that a motion to squash the charge could not be heard until the defendant had entered a plea. The charge alleges Turaki gave false information to the police on October 5, 2022, in violation of Section 140 of the Penal Code Law. Prosecution lawyer Usman Raibiu argued that Turaki, who was duly served with the charge and hearing notice, willfully failed to attend the court. The bench warrant compels his production to answer the pending criminal counts. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja has discharged former Aviation Minister Stella Odua and her ex-aide Gloria Odita from an alleged 2.4 billion naira fraud case. The prosecution discontinued its case against them and filed an amended charge naming only two companies linked to Odua as defendants. The firms, Sobora International Limited and Global Offshore and Marine Limited, pleaded guilty to unlawful possession of 838 million naira and 1.629 billion naira respectively. Justice Hamza Muazu convicted the companies, ordering them wound up and directed the forfeiture of 1.98 billion naira to the federal government. The court also struck out the earlier charge against Odua and Odita, formally clearing them of any wrongdoing in the matter. Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) has called on stakeholders to ensure that oil assets divestments deliver long-term value, environmental sustainability, and socio-economic benefits for the federal government and the Niger Delta communities. The call was made by the NUPRC Assistant Director, Success Ikpe, during a town hall in Port Harcourt, organized by the Human and Environmental Development Agenda. Ikpe stressed that the divestment is a legitimate commercial decision, but must follow the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 with strict oversight to protect national interest and host communities. He outlined that incoming operators are rigorously assessed for technical, financial, and social capacity, while outgoing companies are held accountable for existing obligations. Header Executive Secretary Arigbabu Salomon warned that divestments in Nigeria often leave environmental liabilities unresolved, placing a burden on host communities. He noted that without proper remediation and capacity checks, new operators may struggle to manage inherited assets and communities risk continued environmental and economic hardship. Inspector General of Police Olatunji Rewandisu has submitted a 75-page framework for the establishment of state police to the Senate, aiming to decentralize policing across Nigeria. The document, titled A Comprehensive Framework for the Establishment, Governance and Coordination of Federal and State Police, outlines the proposed structure, operational procedures and governance of the state police. The framework was handed over to Senator Barrow Jibrin, Deputy Senate President and Chairman of the Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, by Professor Olu Ogunsaki, who chaired the Nigerian Police Force Committee that prepared the report. Disu emphasized that the report reflects extensive consultations and strategic recommendations to guide informed decisions on national security. Senator Jibrin commended the proactive move, noting it aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's agenda to strengthen security. He said the Senate committee would review the framework alongside other submissions as part of the ongoing constitutional review process. Akwa Ibom State Police Command has arrested the village head of Asik Ubofa Fishing Settlement, Chief Edet, aged 60, for allegedly possessing an illegal firearm. Acting on credible intelligence, police launched a targeted operation on 24th March 2026. During the raid, detectives recovered an AK-47 rifle, 2 empty magazines. The suspect, however, was taken into custody without incident as investigations began to trace the source of the weapon and identify potential accomplices. Commissioner of Police CP Baba Mohammed Azari reaffirmed the command's commitment to tackling illegal arms, urging offenders to surrender firearms and commending the public for supplying timely intelligence to aid security operations. The Akwa Ibom State Police Command, led by CP Baba Mohammed Azari, FSI, will mark Police Day 2026 with a week-long series of activities under the theme, Community Partnership, Building Trust. The celebration aims to strengthen police-community relations, highlight police capabilities, and promote public safety across the state. Planned activities include community outreach programs, environmental sanitation exercises, medical services, a walkathon, and public sensitization campaigns on electoral violence prevention and road safety. The command will also honor families of fallen officers with welfare checks in recognition of their services. The grand finale is scheduled for 7th April 2026 in Abuja. CP Azari emphasized the importance of continued collaboration between the police and the public in maintaining peace and security, and invited citizens to participate in the event. In other news, Edo State government has cautioned parties involved in the Okpele tradition leadership disputes to maintain peace and respect due process following a recent court ruling. Authorities say legal steps, including an appeal and a stay of execution, have been initiated to preserve the status quo. The government warned that any act of self-help, such as forceful takeover, intimidation, or disruption of the traditional institution, would be treated as a violation of the law. Security agencies have been placed on alert to address any threats to peace in the community. In a statement signed by the Commissioner for Public Safety and Security, Festus Ibie, residents and stakeholders were urged to remain calm, avoid provocative actions, and allow judicial process to take its course, with a warning that violators would face decisive action. You're watching ADBN News at 7. Stay with us for more news and stories on the Foreign and Sports Desk after the break.
The overall function of the Parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes to federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The ayes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Welcome back to ADBN News at 7, and now to stories from the foreign scene. Oil prices surged on Thursday, with Brent crude surpassing $106 per barrel and WTI around $93 per barrel, amid renewed uncertainty over U.S.-Iran peace talks. The virtual closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a key energy route, further fueled volatility, sending equities sliding across Europe and Asia. Analysts noted that the conflicting signals from Washington and Tehran have raised doubts about a near-term resolution. The U.S. reportedly presented a 15-point peace plan, while Iran outlined 5 conditions for ending hostilities, with indirect talks ongoing via Pakistan as an intermediary. The spike in energy prices is adding pressure on global economies. The OECD cuts its Eurozone growth outlook for 2026 and forecasts high inflation, while surveys show German consumer sentiments weakened. France, holding the G7 presidency, will convene finance, energy, and central bank officials next week to discuss the impact. Still on the foreign scene, the long-standing partnership between the United Nations and Lions Club International took center stage in Abuja as stakeholders gathered for this year's Lion Day with the United Nations. The event themed the Global South, Lead, Connect, and Empower, highlighted the growing role of grassroots actors in advancing peace, gender equality, and sustainable development across developing regions. Speaking at the event, the resident and humanitarian coordinator for the UN in Nigeria, represented by Beatrice Eyong, reaffirmed the shared vision between both institutions. She stressed that as challenges evolve, from climate change to insecurity and gender inequality, platforms like the annual gathering must serve as engines for dialogue, innovation, and collective action.
The United Nations and Lions Clubs International share a deeply aligned mission to advance peace, support education, fight poverty, strengthen health systems, and uplift vulnerable communities. For decades, Lions have collaborated with UN agencies, including UNICEF, WHO, and UNESCO, to deliver humanitarian programs across the world. As global challenges evolve, from climate change to migration, from public health crisis to rising instability, from gender-based violence to women's underrepresentation in political leadership, let's intensify the use of Lions Day with the United Nations for dialogue, innovation, and a shared action.
In his welcome address, multiple council chairperson Ibrahim Jide Bello underscored the role of Lions in translating global framework into real impact at the community level. He pointed to ongoing efforts across Nigeria in health, education, food security, and youth empowerment, describing community-based organizations as critical bridges between policy and grassroots transformation.
Today's theme reminds us that the Global South holds immense potential to lead, connect, and empower communities in shaping a more equitable future. Within this, Nigeria lies extraordinary innovations, resilience, leadership, particularly from women, youth, and communities actors who are driving solutions for the ground up. As Lions, we are proud to stand alongside with the United Nations and our partners in advancing these shared aspirations.
The keynote address given by Dr. Hussaini Abdu, Country Director, Care International in Nigeria, pushed the conversation further, calling for structural reforms within Nigeria's security architecture to ensure inclusivity, particularly for women, highlighting the absence of female leadership across key security positions, urging mandatory gender quotas as a pathway for more representative and effective institutions.
We need to enforce affirmative action policies within the political parties and electoral framework. provide financial, institutional, and capacity support to women candidates, ensure women are meaningfully integrated into peace negotiations and reconciliation process, not as observers, but as decision makers. Distinguished participants, the question before us is no longer whether women should be included in peace and security. It is whether Nigeria can afford the consequences of their exclusion.
With a strong focus on the global south, participants emphasized that achieving sustainable development goals by 2030 remains possible, but only through deeper collaboration, inclusive leadership, and sustained grassroots engagement. The event featured audience interactions and cross-sectorial dialogues, reinforcing a shared message that meaningful development must be both locally driven and globally supported. U.S. President Donald Trump warned Iran on Thursday to engage in peace talks to end the nearly 4-week Middle East conflict before it is too late, following Tehran's public rejection of U.S. overtures. The warning came as Israel reported killing the commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Navy, whom it blamed for blocking the Strait of Hormuz since the war began. Pakistan confirmed it is facilitating indirect U.S.-Iran talks, relaying a 15-point American peace plan currently under Tehran's review. Trump cautioned that failure to negotiate could lead to irreversible military consequences, while Iran insisted it seeks to end the war on its own terms, with mediation support from Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and the Gulf Cooperation Council. Still on the foreign scene, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has deployed a long-term election observation mission to the Republic of Benin ahead of its April 12 presidential vote, in a move seen as critical test of democracy in West Africa. The mission was authorized by ECOWAS Commission President Omar Aliou Taure. 15 experts from ECOWAS member states will monitor all phases of the election from March 22 to April 18, covering constitutional law, security, media, and conflict prevention. The observers will also run a situation room and coordinate with a short-term team of 100 personnel to provide daily updates and guidance. The deployment follows a January fact-finding visit and aims to strengthen transparency, voter confidence, and participation. Analysts note the mission underscores growing pressure on ECOWAS to demonstrate effectiveness amid political instability and declining trust in democratic institutions across the region. Africa is stepping up efforts to decarbonize its maritime industry, with ECOWAS and the African Union Commission holding a high-level workshop in Abuja to validate green port guidelines and emission reduction strategies. Officials stressed that sustainability must go hand in hand with trade efficiency to protect economic growth. Regional leaders warned that failure to meet global standards could raise costs and reduce Africa's competitiveness, making green ports essential for resilience and efficiency. The workshop highlighted renewable energy, port electrification, and digitization as key priorities, while a continental roadmap is expected. Stakeholders note the financial and implementation remains the biggest challenges as Africa seeks to align with the global maritime decarbonization targets without being left behind. And now to news from the sports desk. Nigeria's women's wheelchair basketball team has secured a historic qualification for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. The Nigerian side defeated South Africa women's wheelchair basketball team 8-3 in the final on Thursday at the qualifiers held in Angola, claiming the sole ticket available for the games. Led by captain Iji Gbemisola Olubisi, the team produced a spirited performance to overturn expectations against the tournament's favorites. The victory was particularly impressive, having previously lost 7-3 to the South Africans in the group stage. However, the Nigerian side responded with determination and resilience to seal qualification. President of the Nigerian Wheelchair Basketball Federation, Sheyi Johnson, described the achievement as monumental, noting that it will further accelerate the growth of wheelchair basketball in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Nigeria's men's wheelchair basketball team missed out on qualification after losing 13-8 to South Africa in their final. And now to tennis, where world number 4, Coco Gauff, delivered a dominant 6-1, 6-1 victory over Karolina Muchova on Thursday to book her place in the final of the Miami Open, marking her 6th WTA 1000 final appearance. Gauff made a slow start, dropping the opening game as Muchova secured an early break that proved to be the Czech's only moment of control. The American responded immediately, leveling the set before winning the remaining games without reply to seal the opener in emphatic fashion. She maintained the momentum in the second set, breaking serve 3 times to wrap up a comprehensive victory while extending her perfect head-to-head record against Muchova to 6 wins. Gauff will now face world number 1, Ariana Sabalenka, in the final after the Belarusian defeated Elena Rybakina 6-4, 6-3. It is Sabalenka's second win over Rybakina in as many weeks, following her triumph at the Indian Wells. This time she produced a more controlled display, losing just 5 points on her first serve and breaking her opponent 4 times to secure her place in Saturday's final. And on to news on the entertainment scene. The Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards AMVCA will return for its 12th edition on May 9, 2026, promising a bigger and more inclusive celebration for African films and television. Organizers flagged off the event on March 26 at MultiChoice Studio, outlining plans to honor excellence across the creative industry. This year's edition introduces new categories including Best Indigenous Language, North Africa and Central Africa, while highlighting behind-the-scenes contributors such as writers, directors, editors, and technicians. Veteran Nollywood actress Joke Silva would serve as head judge. A total of 32 awards will be presented, including 18 jury-decided, 11 public voting, and 3 special honors. Nominees would be revealed on March 29 in a live broadcast hosted by actor Chimezie Imo, with sponsorship from Don Julio, Guinness, MTN, and others. And that's it on ADBN TV News this morning. Remember to watch us live on DSTV channel 258, on StarTimes channel 140, Afro TV app, Limex World TV app, and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website on www.adbntv.com. You can also watch us live from every part of the world by logging on to www.adbntv.com/live. I am Beto Brian, thanking you for watching, and I'll hand you back to Chijoke Okafo for the continuation of Morning Express. Stay tuned.
Well, thank you so much, Beto Brian, for taking us through that robust news bulletin this morning. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Disu, we hear, has tailored and also presented a framework for state police to the Nigerian Senate. Well, calls have been made several times for the creation of state police across different states in Nigeria. Well, we'll take a break. When we return, we'll visit the front pages and get insight into this story and many more developing stories in the news. Do well to stay with us. Morning Express continues in a short while.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. An Avo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linux Well TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. Anavo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linux Well TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
The global business is never static. Watch the market report on ADBN TV for business information, latest happening, business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil and commodity trading, financial upstick and downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market report showing on ADBN TV 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. The market report bringing you up to speed in the business world.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
The overall function of the Parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes of federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The eyes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
In a world of overwhelming voices where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an invocative program that touches the core of our existence.
Welcome to FCT in Focus, your window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories directly from the nation's hearts.
In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines, cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Eddies brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, Eddie Ekmeyon, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
It doesn't take a pandemic or an epidemic to know that clean hands save lives. Hand washing is essential anytime, anywhere to protect your health. So keep washing your hands, not just when they're dirty, but even on the go. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep your hands clean.
Do you know what gamalin 20 is? It is a dangerous chemical pesticide never meant for human consumption. Sadly, some fishermen illegally use gamalin 20 to catch fish, poisoning not just the water, but the food on your plate. Here's how to spot fish caught with gamalin 20. Fish that look unusually fresh but stiff. A strange chemical smell, sometimes like kerosene, when cooked. Pale or bleached gills, peeling scales, or sunken eyes. Eating such fish can cause nausea, vomiting, and even damage your liver and kidneys. In severe cases, it can lead to life-threatening health complications. Remember, using gamalin 20 for fishing is a crime. It harms people, rivers, and marine life. Protect your health. Buy fish only from trusted sellers. Report suspicious fishing practices to the authorities. Together, let's keep our waters safe and our meals healthy.
You're welcome back to Morning Express. Now let's head straight to the front pages this morning. Starting off with a few set of papers, the New Telegraph newspaper, the Punch, as well as the Blueprints. Now this is concerning the All Progressives National Convention that is set to take place today. Now a lot of governors and many delegates have, trooped into the Federal Capital Territory in preparation for the convention. Now, there is also the question of credibility, which is on trial amid rising discontent even within the All Progressives Congress. But remember that even as we read these stories out, we always read them out as published under the strict editorial guidelines of the newspaper houses, and they do not in any way represent our stand or position here at ADBN TV. And you are more than welcome to also lend in those thoughtful comments and thoughts across our social media platforms. Keep them coming in, but keep them as civil as possible. Well, that being said, let's pick up the New Telegraph newspaper with the caption, starting off with the catchphrase in red, APC National Convention, credibility on trial amid rising discontent. Zoning non-negotiable, 8,453 delegates expected, says Masari. Ahead of 2027, Muslim ticket could spell doom for party, Vatsa says, as he also adds, North will reject candidate. Right above the masthead, Okonjo-Iweala says global trade hit by worst disruptions in 80 years. World Bank pledges support for client countries. Group raises the alarm over 129.5 billion naira spent on suspended 2023 census. And beneath the masthead, Atiku to AGF. No amount of rhetoric can erase OPL 245 disputes. Court orders arrest of PDP factional chair Turaki. I have appealed the bench warrant, he says. NLC blasts Nigeria's anti-corruption fight, warns grafts now systemic. New UK visa fees for Nigerians begin April 8. And all the feature stories on the front page of the New Telegraph. Health workers storm National Assembly, reject bill ceding 24 councils to doctors. ICPC monitors 21 trillion naira federal government contracts, tracks 415 billion naira state projects. This covers abandoned, underperforming projects. Now on the rider, digital threats, insecurity, challenge to credible elections, says INEC. As it also adds, citizens more likely to accept polls outcomes when they believe in electoral process. Middle East crisis. Trump's latest Iran threats spikes oil prices. Brent crude hits $107 per barrel. Philippines transport workers strike over fuel costs. Israel kills IRCG's top Navy commander, Navy intelligence chief. Iran debt toll passes 1,900 and 1,100 in Lebanon. And picture of prominence here captures President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Michael Drew, at the presidential villa in Abuja yesterday. These are the stories found on the New Telegraph. Well, moving away from the New Telegraph newspaper, let's skip right on to the Punch newspaper with punchy stories this morning. 32 governors, 8,450 delegates arrive Abuja for APC convention. Government orders remote work amid gridlock fears. Convention opens as party rebuffs lawsuit claims. Airlines, hotels cash in. Above the masthead, UK raises visa, citizenship fees for Nigerians and others. CBN blacklists top loan defaulters. 2027 governorship, inside Kwara APC's consensus dilemma. And other feature stories, Ali to be crowned Ibadan Oba despite governorship or governor's bid. I'll take that again. Ali to be crowned Ibadan Oba despite governor's bid. Blackouts cost Nigeria 40 trillion naira yearly, a report states. Now, picture here captures protests that have erupted as Venezuelan president appears in New York court again. You can see people, protesters with placards and an inscription there, Free President Maduro. These are the stories on the Punch. The Blueprint newspaper will be our next stop. Now on the Blueprint, 8,453 delegates storm Abuja for APC National Convention. Gathering a moment of reflection, consolidation, says Idris. No court order stopping our meeting, Masari adds. And elsewhere, man kills mother, arraigned in Ebonyi State. UTME, JAM rearrests suspect for defrauding candidates. SMEs in Lagos face pressure amid rising energy costs. Friendlies, Super Eagles try Iran for size in Turkey. You'd also find other stories here. How ICPC tracked 415 billion naira states to 21 trillion naira works ministries projects, says the chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Musa Aliu SAN. On the rider, IGP submits framework for state police to the Nigerian Senate. We are ready for localized solution to security challenges, says the federal government. On polio, UNICEF designates 4 Kwara local governments high-risk areas. Police rescue man in Zamfara, wife, 6 children from kidnappers. Middle East, U.S. threatens to hit harder if Iran does not accept defeat. Kano woman who delivered quintuplets dies. Now, these are the stories on the blueprint. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Rilwan Disu, has presented a state police framework to the Nigerian Senate. And this is captured on the front pages of the Nigerian Tribune, the Daily Sun, and the Nation newspaper. Starting off with the Nigerian Tribune, the headline story states IGP submits state police framework to Senate. 75-page document focuses on operational, legal, administrative implications. Right above that, court orders arrest of Tanimu Turaki, PDP national factional chairman. Let's see some stories above the masthead. Court orders arrest of Tanimu Turaki, PDP factional chairman. Effort ongoing to put PDP on the ballot in 2027, says Saraki. Anioma state creation receiving attention, says Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Ali, 2 others to be installed as Obas in Ibadan land, April 3rd. And these are other feature stories on the Nigerian Tribune. Court discharges Stella Odua of 2.5 billion naira fraud. Street urchins attack Lagos task force, set railway line ablaze. And on the rider, APC set for convention as 8,453 delegates converge on Abuja today. Offices are zoned based on federal character principles, says Masari. Federal government declares today work-free at Federal Secretariat. Now, picture of prominence captures former governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, Ogun State Governor and Venue Subcommittee Chairman of the Convention, Prince Dakpo Abiodun, former Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu, and the Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, inspecting the venue of the All Progressives Congress APC Convention, Eagle Square, Abuja, on Thursday. These are the many stories on the Nigerian Tribune. Well, the Daily Sun has a similar headline story, much like the Tribune. IGP submits state police framework to Senate. Federal government reaffirms commitment to a secured nation. At the bottom, National Convention. APC assures Nigerians of high standard, expects 8,453 delegates. Soludo orders suspension of workers without pay for lateness to work. We will deliver durable road projects timely, Edo government assures. Nigeria losing fight against corruption, the NLC and other CSOs warn. Now you'd also find just above the headline story and beside the masthead 2 stories. 32 banks meet new capital requirements ahead of deadline. As CBN says Nigeria's toughest economic reforms phase over. Election malpractices, vote trading, risk to national security, INEC Chair Professor Joash Amopiton says, as he adds success of upcoming elections hinges on security agencies' credible processes. Court orders Commission to open its registration portal. Now, these are the stories found on the Daily Sun. The Nation newspaper will be our next stop. State Police IGP proposes mode of operation, safeguards and outlook. Senate gets framework from Ogunshakin panel. And right above the masthead at the top, CBN targets single-digit inflation, stable exchange rates. APC ready for convention, says Muhammad Idris. Ward suspends Dagogo. UK rolls out new fees for visas, residency, citizenship. And federal government moves to secure 692 billion naira World Bank loan for education, healthcare in states. Why women deputies should be considered for governor. Court orders Turaki's arrest, issue not related to his PDP role. And just one story before we move on to other papers. Tinubu, Ayedatiwa, Mimiko. Others honor Fale's memoirs presentation. These are the stories splashed on The Nation. Moving on from The Nation newspaper and get more news reports this morning, we have just about 3 papers remaining to go. The Guardian newspaper, the Daily Trust, as well as the Daily Monitor will be our next 3 stops. Starting off with the Guardian, the headline stories on Nigeria's heat crisis at the moment, power failure, fuel costs, trigger public health and financial crisis. Now, this is a big story you'd find continued on news pages 4 and 5 of the Guardian. Turaki appeals bench warrant as PDP faction forecloses support for Tinubu's re-election. Federal government reduces power sector liabilities as Nel Mco clears 2.6 trillion or 2.16 trillion naira debt. CBN slashes ways and means to 2.84 trillion naira from 26.95 trillion naira in 2023. NLC CSOs warn Nigeria losing fight against corruption. Only 249 out of 774 local councils or local council areas have pipe-borne water. Well, this is a story you can find on news page 30 of The Guardian. And a picture of prominence here. Well, a caricature captures a woman with generator sets and a fan. This is in relation to the heat crisis and power failure, and of course higher fuel costs that have sparked public health and financial crisis in the country. IGP submits state police framework to the Senate. APC defends zoning, consensus, Tinubu's choice ahead of convention. INEC warns of electoral violence, foreign influence ahead of 2027 polls. Now, these are the many stories found on the Guardian newspaper. The Daily Trust comes up now. Power outage bites harder. Quite a very brief and direct headline there. But this story is elaborated in news pages 3, 4, and 5 of the Daily Trust. Above the headline, hours to convention, Belchi APC yet to resolve crisis. 2 dead, 2 others rescued in Kano pit collapse. I'm not running for 2027 presidency, says Saraki. And all the feature stories here, ASU gives federal government 4-day ultimatum to pay new salary. APC convention, government shuts roads, asks civil servants to work from home. Despite $2.5 billion GDP contribution, aviation still underperforming. How mother of 8 died hours after giving birth to quintuplets. This is found on news page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. You can find a picture of prominence here capturing Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, Chairman, APC National Convention Committee, Yobe State Governor and Secretary, Convention Committee, Honorable Maimala Buni, and Co-Chairman of the committee, Senator Pius Anyam Pius. And on a final inspection of Eagle Square, the venue of the party's national convention. These are the stories on the Daily Trust. To our penultimate paper of the lineup this morning, the Daily Monitor has a story regarding the reply of former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to the AGF, Fagbemi. Now, no amount of rhetoric can erase OPL 245 disputes. Atiku replies Fagbemi says his intervention guided solely by the public interest, and need to uphold rule of law. Urges AGF to address substantive issues raised in his earlier intervention instead of resorting to propaganda. Right above the headline, ASU gives federal government 4-day ultimatum over new salary structure. IGP submits framework for establishment of state police to Senate. Health workers protest against regulatory bill. Warn of risks to Nigeria's health sector. Court orders arrest of PDP factional chairman Turaki over alleged false information to the police. National Convention. APC assures Nigerians of high standard, expects 8,453 delegates. And on the rider, you'd find one story. Tinubu resolute to reform and strengthen power sector, says Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima. These are the stories on the Daily Monitor. Well, these are the many stories that will inform our line of discussion on Morning Express this morning. We'll take a break. When we return, we hope to be joined by our guest analyst to speak to these issues in the news. Do well to stay with us.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. Anavo TV app, ADBN channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linux Well TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
From the founding as a coalition of progressive forces to its current position as the national ruling party, the All Progressive Congress says its 8th National Convention will reinforce unity while charting a renewed course for leadership and governance. With the theme Unity in Progress, consolidating the renewed hope agenda, the convention is expected to bring together delegates from across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking at the media briefing, Alhaji Idris Mohammed described the theme as more than just a slogan, but a statement of direction, aligning party processes with national governance priorities.
APC will hold its 8th National Convention in Abuja this weekend, starting from tomorrow, Friday, the 27th of March, and ending on Saturday, the 28th of March, 2026. The convention hopes to bring together delegates from across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory for policy engagement, leadership elections, and a formal transition to a new set of party executives representing both decision-making platform and also a moment of reflection, consolidation, and direction setting for the next phase of our journey. This briefing, therefore, like I said earlier, is meant to share the purpose, readiness, and values behind this momentous event.
The minister emphasized that the convention reflects both continuity and renewal within the party, highlighting its evolution, resilience, and structural approach to leadership transition. He noted that the gathering will also showcase achievement under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and deepened the party's commitment to the renewed hope agenda.
All the committees that have been set up by the party have finalized assignments and operational systems are set to ensure smooth coordination, efficiency, and order. Every detail has been attended to so that the convention proceeds without avoidable disruption. This is not just a routine political exercise. It is a demonstration of the APC's commitment to democratic practice, organizational discipline, and collective decision-making. It is a clear sign of the party's maturity as a responsible political institution.
The party says the two-day convention will serve as both a decision-making platform and a moment of reflection, featuring policy engagement, leadership elections, and transitions to a new set of party executives. From the Federal Capital Territory,
a gathering of party leaders, governors, and stakeholders, united by a common message, cohesion, and continuity.
That I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
to
the All Progressive Congress APC.
For the host governor, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, the successful Congress reflects the party's growing strength and internal harmony.
We have had very successful world congresses, local government congresses, and state congresses. Today we are concluding with the zonal congress as was agreed by the National Working Committee of the party. The method of this is going to be we are retaining the people that we already have.
At the Congress, the APC adopted consensus, retaining all members of its zonal executive committee through a voice vote, reinforcing what is described as a seamless process.
that any concern or grievances arising during this process will be handled properly in line with the laid down procedure of a great party.
Representing the national chairman, Professor Nentawe Yilwada, the deputy national secretary of the APC, Professor Abdukarim Kana, charged the newly inaugurated officers to see their emergence as a call to service, not division.
Our strength lies in our numbers and our cohesion. Drive grassroots engagement. The 2027 elections are on the horizon. Your work begins today in every ward and every local government across our zone.
The unity message echoed across goodwill speeches as leaders rallied members ahead of future elections.
50% of voters are women, the rest are our children and our husbands. So you can be rest assured that we worked for APC before we work for APC again.
I pledge to serve with integrity, to work with every stakeholder, and to remain accessible, accountable, loyal to the ideals of our great party.
Then came the defining moment. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, commended governors in the zone and moved a motion that drew loud approval.
We want to use this occasion to move this motion for adoption of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu as our sole candidate for 2027.
The motion, seconded by Governor Sule, received overwhelming backing, sealing the endorsement with a voice vote.
I second the motion for the North Central Zone to adopt President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR as our sole candidate, and I so move.
Those against say nay. Oh, they are not here.
Party members were also invited to converge in Abuja for the APC National Convention, where the party's national leadership is expected to be ratified and its future direction outlined.
The overall function of the parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes of federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The eyes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Welcome to FCT in Focus, your window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories directly from the nation's hearts.
Welcome back to Morning Express. Now let's usher in our guest reviewer to the program, Mr. Sam Otoye. A very good morning to you, Mr. Sam. Mr. Sam is the business editor of the New National Star. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on Friday's edition of Morning Express.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
All right, sir. Well, let's kick off with the APC's 8th National Convention. We hear that it's set to hold today. Now, this is considered to be the mother of all conventions for the party. However, there are questions of, credibility and a lot of things being set on trial at the moment. This is amid rising, discontent even in the party that is considered at the moment one of the most stable parties in the country. But what do you see or foresee happening at the convention? And also, what do you make of the party's unanimous decision to, allow President Bola Ahmed Tinubu run for a second term without any other contestant in the party?
Thank you so much, Chijoke. There's not so much to talk about the APC convention because that's the leading party and the ruling party. So it's highly controlled by the leaders And as the president sees there over the situation, over the arrangement, nothing much will go wrong. The only thing is, the normal horse trading, the normal financial inducements and all of those. Nobody should expect any row. No, it will not work, because if they do it, that shows that they're not on top of their game. They must prove to the opposition parties that they are infallible. So personally, I don't expect anything anything to the contrary. It will be harmonious, it will go well. The president has been, of course, endorsed. Nobody is going to contest with him. And if you know the history of our democracy, since 1999, you find out that all these things are, when the party is in leadership, it takes time. I mean, what will you do? Opposition doesn't have much strength, to destabilize it. That's what we see. It's the party that is in power that destabilizes the opposition, at every moment and at every turn. So for this event, over 8,000 delegates coming. They're just coming to take their money and go. There won't be much. Most tickets will be automatic, as we know, as we've read also. So we're not expecting anything tumultuous. We're not expecting any riot. We're not expecting any protest. It's a highly controlled convention, and I think that is what it is.
Now, a lot of political observers and analysts have shared their opinions regarding the decision of the party to present President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the one and only, presidential candidate in the party. Of course, he is the incumbent, and he's set to go for re-election, but there are no other contenders as it stands now. Is this due to the, faith and trust that they have in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or do you think that he has indeed usurped power to the point where no one is bold enough to try to contest alongside him?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I'm just smiling because I've said it all. It's part of the renewed hope agenda. Let me put it subtly, So just as I said earlier, anybody that is expecting anything to happen to the contrary does not read the handwriting of the leadership. President Tinubu has wielded so much power that nobody can try it. Nobody can even attempt. Nobody can even think about it. No member of that party can even imagine it. That is what it is. We are a man that has been able to get all the governors to his side, almost all the governors onto his side. Then what are you thinking about? So the truth is that convention has come and gone. Nothing much will happen. The delegates are just coming, just normal protocol, of how conventions are held. That is exactly what's going to be seen there. Then the cordoning off of the ego sphere and all of those are part of the activities, around such conventions. So all in all, I'm not expecting anything to the contrary. Just as I said, President Tinubu has wielded so much power. It's not because of his performances. No, we all know what Nigerians are passing through. No light, no water, nothing is happening. Killings everywhere and all of those. So it's not like, oh, he's coming on the platform of, what good he has done for the nation. No, we know our politics, we know the way we run it. So it's just a matter of formality. And that is what they're doing today, and I think tomorrow. That's my opinion on it.
Now there are also concerns about zoning, which of course, Masari had stated that zoning is non-negotiable for the party. And some certain individuals have also raised concerns on the Muslim ticket, which was a huge bone of contention during the 2023 general elections, claiming that it could spell doom for the party if that is tried again. I just want to get your reaction to the issue of zoning within the APC. And secondly, the Muslim ticket, if it worked in 2023, do you think it will still likely work in 2027?
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me talk about the Muslim ticket. You know, when there were a bit of fear in the system, you know, particularly in APC, when America stepped in and they were talking about the clean of Christians and all of those. And the issue of Muslim ticket came up, you know, and people were like, wow, with this issue coming up, I think the president may do something about it. And at that period, at that time, it seems as if something was going on, you know. There were some consultations. In fact, at a point, we read that Bishop Martin Cooker, you know, was being fingered to replace VP Shetima, you know, and all of those calculations. And after some time, it was like everything died down, right? That's why we're not hearing about it so much as it stands today. But for what has happened, I think they've overcome that fear. You know, I think they've overcome it for whatever reason, which I know that even the stepping in of Donald Trump has somewhat been whittled down, because Nigerians have thought that by now something, you know, very extraordinary would have happened. But I see if everything has gone under the coolers. So for that Muslim ticket, I think he's holding again, and there's nothing ever can do about it. After all, the governors are with the party, and the governors are going to dictate what happens in their states, as it were, you know, given the kind of democracy we practice here. And again, even the 2027 election is going to be a walkover, because even the voters are not interested because of what has happened so far. You know, you won't see the turnout will be so poor, so much so that you will see that even before the election, the result has been announced by what the masses will do.
Mr. Samba, are this speculations or projections you're making towards the election? Do you think there will be a large voter apathy when it comes to the next general elections, even with all the reactions that people have been making, Nigerians have been making politically, some expressing full support and love for the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and others expressing so much displeasure and saying that they can't just wait to go to the polls in 2027 and remove the administration of PBAT come, you know, the next elections?
Yeah, it's okay. The country has been boxed to a corner. The opposition parties are not strong. Even the ADC, we are looking at something is trying to come up now as we are reading about it, instance, because the way the ruling party has emasculated the system, voters. You see, when you hear we'll ask President Tinubu, we'll ask APC, it's politicians that are saying all those. For the voting masses, they're already boxed to a corner with all the things that are happening, the fears, high cost of fuel, high cost of food, high cost of everything, no electricity, and all of those. They're boxed to a corner, and they're tired of the whole system. So anybody that is expecting a massive turnout, voters turnout, might not be right, because 2023, that was when they thought everything would have happened. As long as 2023 failed them, 2027 will not help matters, and they're going to react in that light. That's the truth. So voters, massive voters turnout, for me, in my own opinion, will not happen, because the masses are tired of the situation. They're tired of our electoral system and how things run. And the APC in power right now has taken over everywhere. And everybody knows, if you're a discerning mind, you should know that, look, there's nothing anybody can do, because even the good book, the Holy Book Bible says that when the foundation is broken, there's nothing the righteous can do. That is the situation we are in this country as it is now.
Now, of course, Mr. Sam, let's just get your take concerning the comments of the chairman of the APC's convention, Central Working Committee, and former Katsina State Governor, Right Honorable Bello Masari. Now, he had stated that some allegations of certain aspirants who had paid for forms for the National Working Committee positions but were denied. Now, according to him, he stated, and I will quote, like I said, I will repeat, APC is a responsible party in line with the federal character principle. All offices are zoned. If you come to buy a form, you must buy only for the position set aside for your zone. When an office is zoned to A and you are from Z, but want to buy a form from A, we suspect you are only there to create confusion. End of quote. These are the words of Honorable Masari concerning zoning. Now, there have been speculations, there have been debates about whether zoning is constitutional, enshrined in the country's constitution or enshrined in the APC's constitution. But other people have stated that zoning is more or less a gentleman's agreement and not necessarily a constitutionally binding arrangement. But what do you say to this? Is this viable in the sense that Masari is only doing this to keep the party one and avoid confusions, like he stated?
Indeed, that is what it is. You see, I'm a proponent of a zoning system. Because when people say, look, if you zone something, if you zone a position, you won't get the best of hands and all of those. For me, I said no. If you use zoning arrangement to handle issues, particularly in this country, it will bring about peace. It will bring about balance, because every zone will wait for their turn. Every zone will get something, and it goes round like that. Even when we're talking about the presidential zoning of the north and the south. That is what is even making it work today. Now that President Tinubu is there from the south, by 2031 it will go back to the north, and that brings about sanity, that brings about peace, and that brings about balance and fairness. That is what zoning stands for. So I agree entirely with APC, with any other party that is into zoning. Zoning arrangement, I'm a proponent of it, because it makes things to circulate. It makes leadership to go around. And that is what I think should happen. And I think that is why I go with Honorable Masari on that note. Let everybody get something, and let it not be, because when you allow it for everybody to contest, it becomes chaotic. And you know how we Nigerians behave. People will buy people to go and pick up forms and create confusion and all of those. So for you to bring sanity in this country, in whatever thing, even in local meetings, village meetings and all of those, zoning is the best, at least for the level of democracy we have developed in this country. I think zoning is working out for us, and I think that is what should happen, even in other parties and in other situations.
Well, there's been word that there is a court order stopping the APC's national convention, something that has been refuted by the convention's national secretary, Right Honorable Masari. Do you have any information regarding this, and can you clarify if there was indeed a court order?
You know, some of these court orders, most of them are very funny, orders that emanate from nowhere, just because of one person that feels discontented about a situation, and the person wants to let his voice or her voice heard. But for the court order, I've not read about it. It could be somebody somewhere that trying to fly a kite, but then that will affect this convention. That will not work, because this convention is highly controlled and is in the hands of the leaders of the nation. So there's nothing a third party can do about it. That is the truth. If it were to be on the side of the opposition now, we would have said yes, so that possibly is the hand of the ruling party, But here we are. The opposition doesn't have much to do to the ruling party, because the ruling party has so much, guarded itself to the point that external penetration will be flawed and will be kicked out almost immediately. So the court order, if there's any, which I've not read about, it will go nowhere, because this is not the convention that such thing will work. This convention is highly controlled, just as I said, highly controlled. It's not a no-commerce affair, because they've gone so far. APC has gone so far, too far into what they're doing today, and nobody can interfere with it. Even a court order cannot. Which court will do that even? If any court does that, any court that tries to do that, whether he's a judge or he's a magistrate, or whether the person will be kicked out, and the person must be wise enough, to secure his or her position first before anybody will put him or her into trouble. That is what it is where we are today in the nation.
All right, Mr. Sam, let's move on to other matters in the news this morning to address them. Time is far spent. However, we hear that the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Rilwan Disu, has presented a state police framework to the Nigerian Senate. If you remember, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had some time ago asked state governors to liaise with the, National Assembly to ensure that they bring about state police and create, state policing structures across different states in the country. Now, this is coming at a very good time. What is your reaction to this? Is it safe to say, finally, it is here?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, he has submitted the framework. We don't know yet what is contained in the framework, and that is what Nigerians are waiting for them to make their input. When this thing came on board the other time, I think 2 weeks ago or so, on this program, I said, wow, that the 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks given to them was too short. That this state police thing is a complex situation that should have been given much time for the IGP and the committee to do a wider consultation, to the point of town hall meetings, going from state to state, asking for civil society, input, and submission of memoranda and all of those, because of the enormity and the sensitivity of security. It shouldn't be something that will just be done, in a boardroom. And here we are. We have submitted the framework. I really don't think that should have been the case. Honestly, I have suggested, even on this program, I said it, that they should have been given much more time to do wider consultation, visit communities, let people, traditional rulers, let people speak. Because if we don't get it right now with this, it will be difficult for us to get the security of this situation right again. Because security, they say, is crime is local, security also is local. Because even if a crime, a stranger comes in to do it, is there somebody in that land that is feeling it, coordinating it for him? So it's not something that should have been rushed, because for me, I see it as a very rushy decision. Very hasty.
When you say it's hasty, the topic of state police did not start today or yesterday or last year. It has been on the front burner even before the inception of this administration. But the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, fueled the calls for state policing, and Mr. President had on several occasions asked the former IGP, Egbeto Okun, to ensure that he liaises with the people in charge, state governors, the National Assembly, to bring about state police. And until he left office, that wasn't achieved. And IGP DC just came in and probably worked on what was already in process. And now we are having state police. And of course, you all know, you understand that there have been so many calls for the creation of state police, and with the hopes that that will be the ultimate solution to our security woes. So do you still think that the decision was rushed owing to all of these antecedents, building up to this very moment?
Yes, indeed, because the antecedents you are talking about were just talks, suggestions, they were not documents. They were not catalog of opinions and what will I put it now? And you know, they were not solution points. They were just talks and suggestions. So now that we want the solution to be documented, we want people, is beyond governors and National Assembly. That's the point I'm making. Governors are just individuals. National Assembly, yes, they're there to ratify, but then the communities, the traditional rulers, the PGs, President Generals, all those people that are in core areas, in all these communities, local government chairmen and councillors and all, these are the people that are on ground in all these areas. And just as we say, that security is, crime is local, also security. So it's these people that are on ground that should have been consulted. That's the point I'm making here. You know, before now, it had been all talk and talk and talk. But it is now that we are trying to formalize it. And what should have happened is, oh, now a new IGP take up this matter and go around the nation and get opinions, let civil society organizations, let other groups send their memoranda and let us look at them and see what will make out of them before even going to the National Assembly. The governors will have their own input to make. So leaving it for governors and National Assembly, that's what I'm talking about, that there's a gap there, because this security thing is not something that we'll do today and do it again, unless something will happen by this framework. By the time they open the framework and see the things that are there, they will now release the framework to the nation, to Nigerians, to groups, to now make their own input. The point I'm making here is, it's important that communities, community heads, traditional rulers, president generals, local government chairmen and local government councillors, all those people that are directly on ground, you know, should have input to make, because they can tell you what strategies that can work in their different areas. You know, it's not just a national thing. It must go deep down, you know, to communities, so that each community has a peculiar situation and even scenario and landscape, right? There are some swampy areas, there are some hilly, mountainous areas and all of those. And those things should be factored in, so that when you are saying, oh, look, we're going to deploy policemen to a place that is rocky, a place that is mountainous and all of those, that will form the kind of policemen, how trained they are to handle the situation in a swampy area, in mountainous and all of those. So that's why I'm saying that is a complex thing. It's not something that should be left in the hands of the governors and the National Assembly. No, that's why I said it's a bit hasty, that there should be a wider consultation and all of those. And you know, I think let's see what the framework will look like.
The framework he presented, like you mentioned, is a 75-page document. It captures the operational implications, legal implications, and of course, administrative implications. This is not available to the general public as it stands right now, and much remains to be seen. However, we have talked about this time and time again on this program about you know, the possibilities of a clash between the federal police and the state police structures that will be created. And we had assessed certain security outfits, you know, at the moment in the country that are functioning almost informally as state police. The Amotekun Corps in the southwest, the Ebubagu in the southeast, and of course things like the organizations like the Hisba Police in the northwest as well. However, out of all of these three, it appears that the Amotekun Corps is basically the only you know, structure that has proven itself quite capable of handling security matters in the sense that we want state police to handle. Do you see these others being beefed up or stepped up? What is it going to look like at the end of the day?
Yeah, thank you so much. You see, that's exactly what's going to happen. There will be scaling up of such outfits, particularly the Hisba. The Hisba will go beyond, you know, breaking beer bottles and arresting fornicators and all of those, you know, to a broader, situation where they will be armed to handle issues of terrorism, herdsmen attack, and all of those. So, and yeah, some of them might be recruited into the police, the state police formation, since they already know. That's why I've been talking about, people that know the nooks and crannies of the place, But then, you see, is an intricate thing, because when you talk about state police, I'm talking about the federal police. By the time we'll see what the framework is, I think we'll have a better opinion to render, because if we don't if it doesn't really harmonize, and create a very distinct work operations, between the federal and the state police, we'll be having this serious interference, which will not help the state police to work, because most people think when the state police come, the governors will hijack it, Meanwhile, the federal police is there, to check their excesses. That is what will happen in this formation. But then, you see, state police, the Hisba, the Amotoku.
Hello, Mr. Sam. Mr. Sam, are you still with us on the line? Well, it may seem that Mr. Sam's network there is facing a little difficulty.
All those things.
Well, let's have Mr. Sam's connection fixed. In a moment, let's have Mr. Sam reconnect to the program so that we can have his concluding thoughts on certain matters in just about 10 minutes. Now, in the meantime, let's revisit the front pages to refresh our memories regarding the discussion on state police and what the IGP DSU has presented to the Nigerian Senate. Mr. Sam, are you back with us now? Is your network stable?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. You were yanked off a while ago. Your network was fluctuating, but please carry on. You were making a point.
Yes, the last point I wanted to make is, for the state police, they shouldn't make it an offshoot of Hisba, Ebubago, or Amotoku. They shouldn't make it. They shouldn't tie the new formation to those old ones. No, they should come out afresh and anew, with a wider and a more nationalistic goals and aspirations. That's what I think should happen. If they make it an offshoot of Fisba, Amotoku, Ebubago, it will really withhold down the strength and the confidence people will have in it. Because if you talk about Ebubago in the southeast, people have lost confidence in Ebubago because they see it as what governors are using, to intimidate is dead. So anything that is coming, in that light will already lose its confidence. People will lose their confidence and it will not work. So for Hisba, people are not satisfied with the kind of things they do. Even as they say that even those things that they criticize and arrest publicly, that behind the scene, they also indulge in them. Those are some of the opinions, right? So they should not do anything, any new formation based on those platforms. If they do, they've already lost it. It is dead on arrival. They should do a fresh and a more nationalistic thing. That is my opinion. And they should take it to the bank. That is what it should be, because those platforms have lost their mettle, as it were. Particularly in the southeast, nobody has confidence in it. They see it as governors' tools, and people will not be ready to identify anything that has to do with Ebubago, in the name of state policing. No, Hisba, I think, has the same target for the West, Amotoku. I've seen them do one or two things, but then if you look into that place, you see so much fractures, So they should come up with a very fresh, nationalistic systems this time around. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Sam, let's move on to one more matter in the news. We hear that a court sitting in Abuja has ordered the arrest of the PDP's factional chairman, Turaki Tanimu, over alleged false information to the Nigeria police. Now, I don't know if you got wind of this information, although he claims that he has appealed the arrest order by the court. But why do you think this is so? And do you think that the court would have been able to issue such arrest warrant, on someone like the APC national chairman, Professor Nantawe Yilwatda? Or is this just because it's the opposition? These are the speculations of, observers, political observers, and also opposition party supporters in the country at the moment.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are still talking about PDP as if it exists. PDP is a party that has been put under the boss by its owners. So when you divide your house and destroy it, I wonder what you expect. Who will rebuild it for you? That is the position of the PDP. And the national chairman, so to speak, has not been in the good books of the troublers of PDP, as it were. So all these things are part of the antics, to get him seriously in a mess, and then do whatever they want to do with the party. I think what's going on in that party now is seeming like a final burial, because they're talking about reconciliation. Who are you reconciling and what are you reconciling? And who are the people reconciling what? The people that are killing the party are still the people that are reconciling it. I mean, I wonder how it works. So the issue of, I saw that in honestly, I didn't read it because I was like, PDP. Well, I mean, what's going on? The national chairman, we know his travels, and we know the people are behind his travels and all of those. They can do anything with him, and the court can do. But let me respond to the other side of it, the flip side. You said that if it were to be APC national chairman, would it have been so? In fact, that answers the question. The truth about the matter is that PDP is in shambles, and for 2027 election, I don't think it will see the light of the day. And what they're doing is to make sure that is dead and dead and dead and nothing more. So the court order against the chairman is part of those plots, to really bury the party. So just as I said, they are talking about reconciling the party and reconciling the people when everybody must have left and the party house is empty. Are you reconciling an empty house? When you have chased them away, I don't know how it's going to work. The elections are here, and you're talking about reconciling PDP. So, Chijoke, let's not waste our time on the PDP matter. That game is already up, and we're waiting for ADC to see what they can bring to the table as the election is by the corner.
All right.
That is my opinion.
All right, Mr. Sam, talking about elections being by the corner, the Independent National Electoral Commission has raised concerns concerning digital threats and insecurity posing, a threat to credible elections ahead of the 2027 general polls. Now, I believe that with the humongous amount of budget that INEC had rolled out to be bankrolled by the federal government, it shouldn't be complaining of digital threats and should have already figured out how to handle or, divert some of these threats that could pose a challenge for electorates at the polls come 2027. Hello, Mr. Sam? Did you get my question? Hello, Mr. Sam?
Yes. Yeah, when I read that piece, I was disappointed. Yes, I did. I read the issue of the Hello?
Yes, please carry on, sir. We can hear you now.
Okay, good. So I say when I read that piece coming from the INEC chairman, I was disappointed because I thought we had gone beyond that, having given him all he asked for. He should have been the person telling us the much he has done, to get the election peaceful and transparent, not telling us about insecurity and telling us about the credibility matter, So I think if I should put it this way, subtly, that was an error that he made, which I think in the coming days he should be able to reverse it, because he asked for money to take care of those things and the money has been given to him. What's this problem again telling us about digitalization and insecurity? Insecurity was there before he was sworn in, and he made a play that he was going to do everything possible to deliver a credible and transparent election. So didn't he factor in insecurity before he took that oath? So I think where we are now is not a point where we should be talking about those things. That will create more apathy. A situation where people will say, if the INEC chairman is still complaining by this time, that means the election is not worth wasting time over, and it will discourage voters. The INEC chairman and his handlers, I don't know, his media people and all those, they should please, have a sit down with him and look at the things that should be, issued from his desk, so that he doesn't discourage, the voters the more. That's my point there.
Now, of course, the issue of discouragement for voters is also there, and like you mentioned in your earlier comment about people, electorates having voter apathy in the polls. Now, could this comment be coming from the electoral reforms that have taken place so far, with the debate surrounding real-time transmission of election results? Do you think this is somewhat related to that?
Yeah, it is. When he's crying over digitalization of election results and all of those, that's exactly what I'm saying. He's still pointing to the fact that, oh, are we sure we're going to have a credible and transparent election if at this point we are still talking about the digitalization of results and all of those, which Nigerians are craving. They're craving for such. If the INEC chairman is not sure, I mean, it really leaves a sour taste in the mouth, So that's exactly what I'm talking about, that he shouldn't have done so, that this is the time for him to build up confidence in the electorate and not coming out with such reports. The elections team should sit him down and streamline the things that should be coming out from his desk, so that he doesn't, impact negatively on the election, as it were. But for insecurity, that we know. The only thing is, of course, we know that during elections, some things are done. Some volatile areas, elections are not held there, that are brought to the city and all of those. Since it looks like we cannot control, the level of insecurity we're having, particularly in the northeast, where even military cantonments and all of those facilities are being bombed and, even officers killed. So nobody will be really sure what will happen on such election day when people are asked to come and queue up and all of those. So by now, he should be telling us, the strategies he's putting in place, or even keeping to himself the strategies he's keeping in place. So not to let us know the other side of it, the impossibilities around it. That's exactly what I'm saying. So
all right, Mr. Sam, we must thank you so much.
All in the same,
Thank you so much, sir. It's been a pleasure having this discussion with you. Always wonderful to have you join us on Morning Express to speak to matters of national interest.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
All right, sir. Well, we've been speaking to Mr. Sam Otuonye, who is the business editor at the New National Star newspapers. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll turn our attention to other matters, particularly the All Progressives National Convention and possibly a debriefing from our crew on ground at the Eagle Square in Abuja. Stay with us.
The global business is never static. Watch the market report on ADBN TV for business information, latest happening, business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil and commodity trading, financial upstick and downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market report showing on ADBN TV 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. The market report bringing you up to speed in the business world.
They've always been, not for a day, for all of time. Until quietly something shifts, moving from someday to now. Women are not honored in time, they are woven through it, shaping every story, every voice, every breath. We are because she is, and because tomorrow they will be.
Well, I have a feeling things are about to change.
The new season of the hit series Wura is coming to Africa Magic. Here's everything you need to know about the woman behind the name to get ready.
This is well.
Wura is the ruthless CEO of Frontline Gold Mine.
We're going to build our paradise here on earth.
She'll do anything to maintain her power and perfect image. Lies, fraud, and of course, murder.
Let the dead stake hit her.
Many try to take her down, but she always claws her way back to the top.
I have a plan.
That is, until she discovers that the last person she murdered is her own abandoned daughter. The once unbreakable Wura begins to fall apart, and her empire of gold crumbles around her. But she would rather die than have the world discover who she truly is. Catch Wura Season 4 on Africa Magic Showcase and available to all on Africa Magic Family.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
Election of the parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes to federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The eyes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Do you know what gamalin 20 is? It is a dangerous chemical pesticide never meant for human consumption. Sadly, some fishermen illegally use gamalin 20 to catch fish, poisoning not just the water, but the food on your plate. Here's how to spot fish caught with gamalin 20. Fish that look unusually fresh but stiff. A strange chemical smell, sometimes like kerosene, when cooked. Pale or bleached gills, peeling scales, or sunken eyes. Eating such fish can cause nausea, vomiting, and even damage your liver and kidneys. In severe cases, it can lead to life-threatening health complications. Remember, using gamalin 20 for fishing is a crime. It harms people, rivers, and marine life. Protect your health. Buy fish only from trusted sellers. Report suspicious fishing practices to the authorities. Together, let's keep our waters safe and our meals healthy.
In a world of overwhelming voices where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an invocative program that touches the core of our existence.
In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines, cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Eddies brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, Eddie Ekpenyong, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
Welcome to FCT in Focus, your window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories directly from the nation's hearts.
In Nigeria, over 31 million people, approximately 15% of the population, live with some form of disability. According to the World Health Organization and the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, these individuals face significant challenges in nearly every aspect of life. They struggle with limited access to education, employment, healthcare, and essential services, with many encountering societal stigma and discrimination. For many persons with disabilities in the FCT, daily life is a battle for recognition and basic rights. A common sentiment among this group is the desire for opportunity and equality. Many people with disabilities express a longing to be seen for their abilities, rather than their impairments.
It's long we have been crying out, we person with albinism. Some of our members are battling with skin cancer, which is very expensive to treat them at the National Hospital. So we have been crying to the government to make the treatment of cancer free for person with albinism and to make life more convenient for us. We have been saying it, they have signed it to be, but nothing has been done. So I'm not too happy that they are not doing anything about it, and we are still pressing on to see if the government can do something about helping person with albinism.
There is a thin line between ability and disability, and either side, anybody can be part of either side. So it is today, you can see it. In this place, you see all caliber of people.
To come to our aid. See, look at this thing. This is a what we used to work. If you don't, most of us cannot afford it. So we want the government to come to our aid so that we can have most of these things, wheelchairs, white case, and all the rest of them.
It is to give us free education. Each student should attend school free, and also automatic employment. So yes, wherever a person with disability serve, he should be retained in that particular place. Yes, and they should also make a vocational training center available for persons with disability, especially for those who have not attend any education, who have not gone to school. They can feed and drink through vocational training.
And on a very serious note, I am not happy with what is happening. It's like we are just saying rhetorics. As at last year when I came here as a PhD holder. Between last year and now, I am still here. I don't have a job. I have everything it takes to lecture in a university. I have written application to so many organizations and I don't have any response. Not even long ago, I got a recommendation letter from the senator representing my senatorial district, that is Kogi State. That is the Eastern Senatorial District in Kogi, which I took to my state, the state university. And up till now, nothing has been heard. For me, this day is like we are just doing, I don't know how to call it. Is it just a jamboree? I don't know what it is because I don't know how real this thing is. We've been coming around, we'll just come around, just move and don't go away and wait for another ritual December next year. I don't know what it means.
Advocates like Madam Bilikisu Yakubu, the national coordinator of the Women with Disabilities Initiative, stress that for women with disabilities, the barriers are compounded by gender inequality.
They participate in the society, and whatever it is that will benefit the society and develop the women with disability are making effort to ensure that they are taking part, making sure that they are being part of this change, changes that is happening in the society. A woman with disability have a shop where she sew, and there are some that are even plating her. Just recently, a woman with disability who has a visual impairment got an appointment with Federal Medical Center. Even though because of the policy that is always working against us and because of issues which her employment letter was retrieved, but through advocacy, through awareness creation, she was reinstated. So this is a one major success story for us, which we are always proud to share it anywhere we go. So a woman with disability are now gaining employment because they refuse to keep quiet, and they are now building their capacity, getting opportunity for employment, although it's not as wide as it is, but there's a lot of gap that still creating a lot of discrimination. But there are success stories, and this has built our immune to continue and increase our advocacy. Our organization, Advocacy for Women with Disabilities, is a grassroots organization. Mostly we work with women within the grassroots, women with disability.
One of the things that has worked for us is partnership and collaborating with the traditional rulers and traditional rulers and traditional fathers, especially within the grassroots, building the capacity of women to help them being integrated in that society. So this has really worked for. It's a self-help group model which we have used to empower women within the grassroots, and it has been working and it's working for us. So a lot of women with disability, with the information which you have given to them, with their capacity, now see how they can navigate their way within the environment where they live, especially those of them living in the rural area, to ensure that whatever plan or whatever activities or programs that is taking place within the grassroots, women with disability and make sure that they participate in it. Through that avenue, their voice is being heard, and anytime there is a program within the grassroots, you hear the traditional fathers, the women leaders say, these women with disability in this community, we've not put their name, we'll make sure we put their name so that they will benefit. So collaboration and partnership is the key that is working for us. But the disability issue is a very long issue, and the way it is different from Africa. I don't know how our mindset is being built. Africa is built the mindset of cultural myths and beliefs. So these are really affect the kind of stigmatization and discrimination we face in the society. So how can we now, what are the strategies, the continuous advocacy we are doing, and try to create the awareness, having town hall meeting with people within the grassroots, because mostly if you want to change the narrative, you have to start from the grassroots, because a lot of people in the urban area don't really care about the way you live your life. But where the problem and challenge is always coming from is the rural areas, the grassroots, where the tradition is still rigid, the religious belief is still rigid within the tradition that meets their belief. So what we are doing right now, the strategy we are using is working with the family of persons with disability, especially women with disability. We'll engage women with disability in programs and activities of persons with disability, telling them to have understanding. We also try to create an awareness through the local radios, through the local, just any way we feel that we can just pass the information to them. So that is how we are doing. This is the strategy we'll be using to ensure that we try to change the narrative and the perspective of every individual, because it's a cultural thing, it's like an African thing. Even if you go to school and you are well educated, that stigma will still be there. The African an individual, like say 50% of African person will still want to use that stigmatization on you, will still want to discriminate you, even with your education, even with your exposure, is still there. So it's a gradual thing, change we know is constant, but changing the mindset of people, things that people have believed, something that they have hold on for a long time, it's a long time, it's a long time thing. So it's in the process of changes, which are ensuring that through this collaboration, partnership, engaging directly with the family of persons with disability will help us change the narrative.
A recent motion in the House of Representatives introduced by Honorable Bashiru Dawodu called for an investigation into the Abuja Rehabilitation Center and the FCT's social protection programs.
Majority of the beggars are individuals with disabilities, with other contributing factors including almajorie, internally displaced persons, poverty, unemployment, as well as cultural factors. Concerned that begging is an age-long standing social ill in Nigeria, FCT administration since 2003 have declared war on beggars and used law enforcement to apprehend, prosecute, or repatriate them to their own states. Worried that the Federal Capital Territory, worried that the strategy has failed because it provides only a short-term solution as the beggars soon return, probably in a changed location. Aware that the Federal Capital Territory has one semi-functional rehabilitation center in Buhari, which is underfunded and provides suboptimal services. cognizant that lack of effective long-term solutions like rehabilitation, monthly survival allowance, emergency feeding, and internally displaced persons resettlement will result in endemic begging.
Also, advocacy groups in the FCT have called on the minister to establish a dedicated commission to address the needs of persons with disabilities. Such a commission, they say, would help ensure that people living with disabilities receive the resources and support they require to live full, active lives.
We gather here to address a critical issue that required immediate attention and action, which is the establishment of FCT Commission for Persons with Disabilities. As it stands, individuals with disabilities face numerous challenges in our society, including but not limited to lack of accessibility, discrimination, limited educational and employment opportunity, and social stigma. The absence of a dedicated commission in the FCT to address these issues exacerbate marginalization faced by persons with disabilities, hindering their full participation and integration into the society. A call to action. 1. We call upon the President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the FCT Minister, His Excellency Barrister Nyesom Wike, to swiftly establish the FCT Commission for Persons with Disabilities to serve as a platform for advocacy, protection of rights, and facilitation of inclusive policies and programs. This commission will be instrumental in addressing the needs of persons with disabilities, ensuring their voices are heard, and promoting their empowerment and well-being. Similarly, it is also important that a senior special assistant to the Minister on Special Needs and Equal Opportunity be appointed. This will help speedily to facilitate the creation of the commission. 3, we will also like to seize this opportunity to call on the President and the National Assembly to ensure that, and the National Assembly to appropriate reasonable funds to the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. This will help to meet the yearnings of PWDs nationwide, thereby reducing the influx of PWDs from different states into Abuja to beg. 4, we call on FCT administration to urgently look into the existing rehabilitation centers with a view to making them conducive for different skill acquisitions. This automatically take PWDs away from the street. Our objective for calling for this commission includes 1, advocacy and awareness. The commission will work to raise awareness about the rights, capabilities, contribution of persons with disabilities to promote a more inclusive and understanding society. 2, policy development. It will collaborate with relevant stakeholders to develop and implement policies that promote accessibility, inclusion, and equal opportunities for persons with disabilities in FCT. Support services. The Commission We provide support services, including assistance with education, employment, health care, and social integration to enhance the quality of life for individuals with disabilities. 4, monitoring and evaluation. The Commission will monitor the implementation of disability-related initiatives, evaluate their effectiveness, and make recommendations for continuous improvement and accountability. 5, we appeal to state governors to ensure that issues of PWDs in their respective states are given utmost priority. This will also ensure that PWDs get good treatment in their states, thereby discouraging them from migrating into Abuja for street begging. This brings us to the issue of street begging banning in Abuja. We are aware that Abuja Environmental Protection Board Act prohibits street begging. Also, the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018 discourages street begging. Therefore, as an association, we do not encourage it at all. We support the government to ensure that our people, meaning people with disabilities, embraces dignified means of earning a living. However, we encourage the government to, as a matter of necessity, ensure that these PWDs beggars are profiled, rehabilitated, trained, and integrated into the society with a better skills and means of earnings to contribute to nation building. This is why the FCT Commission for Persons with Disability has to be established immediately. Appreciation. Let me use this opportunity to say a big thank you to all those individuals, organizations that have supported us and are still supporting us. Not forgetting, of course, members of the media who are here. We want to thank you so much for coming. In conclusion, the establishment of FCT Commission for Persons with Disability is not just a matter of obligation. It is a testament to our commitment to upholding the principle of equality, dignity, and social justice for all members of our society. Let us unite in our efforts to create a more inclusive, accessible FCT, where persons with disabilities can thrive and contribute meaningfully to our collective progress.
The need for change is urgent, and the global community, through the United Nations, provides an essential framework for this transformation. The International Day for Persons with Disabilities emphasizes the importance of disability-inclusive development. The theme of this year, Transformative Solutions for Disability-Inclusive Development, serves as a powerful reminder that inclusive policies and practices are essential to achieving a fair and just society. By aligning local actions with global commitments, the FCT, as well as Nigeria, has an opportunity to transform the lives of millions of persons living with disabilities, turning their aspirations for equality into reality.
The overall function of the Parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes of federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The eyes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
In a world of overwhelming voices, where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an invocative program that touches the core of our existence.
In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines, cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Eddies brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, ADBN, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Do you know what gamalin 20 is? It is a dangerous chemical pesticide never meant for human consumption. Sadly, some fishermen illegally use gamalin 20 to catch fish, poisoning not just the water, but the food on your plate. Here's how to spot fish caught with gamalin 20. Fish that look unusually fresh but stiff. A strange chemical smell, sometimes like kerosene, when cooked. Pale or bleached gills, peeling scales, or sunken eyes. Eating such fish can cause nausea, vomiting, and even damage your liver and kidneys. In severe cases, it can lead to life-threatening health complications. Remember, using Gamalin 20 for fishing is a crime. It harms people, rivers, and marine life. Protect your health. Buy fish only from trusted sellers. Report suspicious fishing practices to the authorities. Together, let's keep our waters safe and our meals healthy.
It doesn't take a pandemic or an epidemic to know that clean hands save lives. Hand washing is essential anytime, anywhere to protect your health. So keep washing your hands, not just when they're dirty, but even on the go. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep your hands clean. Welcome to FCT in Focus, your window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories directly from the nation's hearts.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. Anavo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linuxwell TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
The overall function of the Parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes to federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The eyes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Okay. Hello? Mic check.
Well, you're welcome back to Morning Express. Now, let's have our guest join us virtually, Barrister Anayo Adibe, who will be speaking to us on certain court cases, the spike of certain court cases in the country most recently. We have just a few minutes to the end of the show. A very good morning to you, Barrister. Thank you so much for finding the time to join us despite your busy schedule.
Thank you very much, and good morning for having me once more.
All right, sir. Well, let's kick off with, the spike of political court cases in the country from, Malam Nasser Arufai to Malami. And now, just this morning, we're hearing that a court has ordered the arrest of the People's Democratic Party's factional chairman, Atani Muturaki, something that he said he had, appealed. But why is there a certain spike in these political court cases, but mostly, with the opposition party members on the receiving end?
Well, this is the season that usually political activities get to a frenzy, and it is not uncommon. Those in power or the ruling party, of course, would want to do everything to remain in power, while the opposition will also want to do everything to wrestle power out of the hands of the ruling party. So it is not uncommon that we have this frenzy in political activities at this time. And mind you, the general elections is just months away, no longer years away, just months. We're talking of about 9 months from now. So it is usual for us to have this kind of heightened temperature in the political space.
All right, quite interestingly, let's start off with the, updates on the charges leveled against former SGF Abubakar Malami, AGF rather, Abubakar Malami. Now, they are bordering on money laundering, a money laundering case to the tune of 8.7 billion naira, and also a fresh terrorism financing charge leveled against him and his family. He has been arraigned alongside his son and one of his wives. This is not the first time we are seeing such trend where a public office holder who has held an office and has, left the office is arraigned, but not just himself, but alongside other members of his family. But from your perspective as a legal practitioner, why do you think these charges are leveled? And something as serious and grievous as terrorism financing?
Well, first and foremost, let me speak as a legal practitioner.
Yeah.
As a legal practitioner, the adherence to the rule of law should be sacrosanct and completely inviolable. In other words, nobody should be above the law. Anybody who has fallen or who have run afoul of the law should face the legal process. So for irrespective of whatever allegations that there are against the former AGF, in as much as these allegations are brought before a court of law, I have nothing about that. But if we also want to look at it from the other point of view, which of course I shouldn't be talking about, is that generally there's this consensus that his case is politically motivated. And why do I say so? My concern for such things is that why do we need to wait until when he declared his support for the opposition before suddenly the legal process is activated against him?
So it is indeed politically motivated.
Yes, definitely we cannot rule out politics from it, because when he left office 3 years ago, what were they waiting for over 3 years? Until he declared his intention to support the opposition, then suddenly the weight of the law is being made to bear on him. I have nothing against it. Anybody who has any skeleton in his cupboard should face the music. But mine is, why wait? And why must it be only those who have expressed their support for the opposition?
Barrister Anayo, this is from your own perspective, as your opinion as someone who observes the political landscape, not only as a legal practitioner. Now, concerning the money laundering charge, which is about 8.7 billion naira, we saw, the case with the EFCC, the confiscation of a lot of properties, seizure of properties, freezing of accounts in the Federal Capital Territory here, in Kebbi State, in different parts of the country. This has been termed political witch hunting, which you have also affirmed right now. However, in as much as we try to make excuses for some of these public office holders and say, oh, their trials are politically motivated, but when do we begin to also hold them accountable for the misappropriation of funds that they are being accused of? I understand that the case is in court and there is very little that we can say about it, but this is not the first time we're seeing public office holders siphoning and diverting and mismanaging funds to the tune of billions of naira or even trillions. Yet somehow they seem to always find a way to beat the system.
Well, did they really beat the system? I don't agree that they beat the system. It only depends on which part of the divide that they belong to or they have expressed support for. Now, let us not take Malami's case in isolation. Malami worked alongside a team of men and women who were in the formal administration. It would have been a lot better if you say you are doing a blanket investigation of the activities in the course of, and I won't personally believe that it was only Malami that was corrupt in Buhari's cabinet. The entire cabinet should have been brought under scrutiny. But I can tell you that is not happening because other members or other perceived members of that cabinet are not or have not expressed their support for the opposition. The moment they do that, the law will come down on them. That I can assure you. That I am very sure of.
Well, quite interestingly, Barrister Anayo, let's talk about his terrorism financing charges. Ever since Nigeria was designated as a country of particular concern and these controversies surrounding the alleged religious genocide in the country, we have seen, a lot of things happening following that. The, comments by the U.S. on the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association and even a former Kano State governor, Kwankwaso, and, so many other persons that have been embroiled in all of this. How exactly is Malami related to terrorism financing, being that he was at the time, Nigeria's AGF and one of the most powerful and influential individuals in the country?
Well, when issues of terrorism is discussed in the public space, I must give it to the authorities that there are certain informations that they are privy to that we as ordinary citizens are not privy to. And it is on the basis of that whoever they decide to pick up for financing terrorism or having a hand in terrorism financing, we should not take that from them. But once more, is it possible to single out Malami in the whole of Buhari's cabinet and say Malami alone is the one, or is the one that is the only person that is found wanting?
But certainly not. We saw persons like Chris Ngige also embroiled in all of this, and a few other ministers that their own case is not as prominent as that of Abubakar Malami. However, out of the list of former ministers and cabinet members of the late President Muhammadu Buhari, Malami's case isn't the only peculiar one, but it appears to be the loudest at the moment.
Well, it's the loudest at the moment because it's the one who has expressed his support for the opposition. In Ngige's case you mentioned, Ngige was picked up the moment they discovered Ngige was maybe having some kind of romance with the opposition. That was why Ngige was picked up. And there are people who I felt that, except we investigate their actions for the entire 8 years of Buhari's administration, then we have actually not started the fight against terrorism. Take, for example,
what people are you talking
I stumbled,
about?
just, hello,
Yeah,
let me,
what
if you
case?
take, for
Carry on.
example, I stumbled on a video a couple of days ago where Sheikh Gumi was seen in the midst of bandits. In the midst of bandits. That same character, known as Sheikh Gumi, is still walking about as a free man, an influential person in this country. There are also members of Buhari's cabinet whom I felt, if we really want to do a thorough investigation as it relates to terrorism, then we should not let such people go without being investigated. Take, for example, the former Controller General of Customs. Have they taken time to investigate his activities while he was there? What of the people at the ports? Have they taken time to investigate them? Because there is no way anybody will tell me that these terrorists who are walking about with sophisticated arms, some of those arms I am very sure would have come in through our ports. Certain persons in government or in authorities would have facilitated their logistics and eventually getting into the hands of these terrorists.
Now, Barrister,
Nayo,
these are quite very serious. These are quite very serious allegations that you are leveling against the NCS. And for Sheikh Gumi, I understand that he has openly expressed his support, and empathy for some of these bandits. But when it comes to the Nigeria Customs Service, I don't think that in any way the NCS would have connived with, arms dealers and supporters of financiers of terrorism in the country to have a freeway to import or bring in some of these arms and ammunition. Some of the speculations is that it's brought in through the black market from neighboring countries like Chad, Niger, and the rest. And it is not necessarily a well-documented procedure that is backed in any way by any customs official.
You see, let us get certain things right. When I called for an investigation is not the same thing as if I have indicted them already. All I'm saying is that there should be an investigation. Let us check, let us sit down, do a holistic investigation. I'll actually find out where exactly were these guys getting their arms and ammunition from. You and I know, and I'm speaking as a lawyer, one of the major terminals for importation of things into anything at all into this country is through the customs service.
Exactly.
Through the borders. So let us start the investigation from there and find out if there were persons who were culpable or who could have been complicit in aiding these activities or in aiding the finance of terrorism in this country. So that by the time we do that, we will now know the angles to shade off and say, okay, this place, let us eliminate here. Let us continue our investigation into these lights. And I am saying that, or except we do that, then the investigation or the fight against terrorism wouldn't have been seen as an objective one. Because as it stands till today, I am of the opinion, and it is my opinion, I know I'm entitled to it, that the federal government is not doing a holistic investigation into this financing of terrorism in the country. And I don't think they've been fair to us. What they've been doing, rather, is more of a selective investigation. Pick one man here because he has expressed his opposition to your government. You leave the others whom you should also take care of. And that has brought us to where we are presently. And we cannot continue to do things the same way and expect a different result. It will always be like this.
All right, but
so that is just the problem we are facing.
Now let's come back to Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi has been quite popular in the news for expressing his support and empathy for these bandits and terrorists, claiming that indeed they have a human side, and just maybe the federal government is not seeing that human side. But this is something that many people still don't see. They don't see the need for these bandits to invade communities, kill, maim, and rape women, abduct girls, and and women, and take them into their enclaves while killing the men, holding others hostage, and demanding for hundreds of millions of naira. These are some of the things that people don't understand why it is so and how a human could do so. What exactly is your perspective on Sheikh Gumi, and how the federal government has treated this matter with levity, allowing him to mingle, wine and dine with bandits, and still come back to tell the federal government to do the biddings of the bandits?
Well, you see, like I keep saying, and I still want to re-emphasize it, we have not done, I don't think the fight against terror, I don't think the federal government is ready to tackle this monster known as terrorism. If the likes of Gumi can be walking about in broad daylight, he's not hiding it. In broad daylight, you see him in the midst of bandits. You see him, in fact, in the course of the Salah break, we saw a video of him having a Salah celebration in the midst of bandits. Now we say, are we really serious about this fight against terrorism? Another example, let us even leave. You see, part of the things I also want to further portray this fact is that if you look at, for example, recent statements that is being credited to the Nigerian army, for example, where they refer to bandits as our brothers, that if they want to repent, that they are prodigal sons. That for me is the most appalling, is the most reprehensible, is the most unconscionable statement coming out of the Nigerian authority, where the military, people who have the responsibility to safeguard this country, are the ones propagating for amnesty for criminals, terrorists. Then we know we have a very big problem on our hands. And I think, except the government really sits down and let us agree, it is either you are for us or you are against us. And if you are against us, we show you or we deal with you what we do with those who are against us. Terrorists can never be our brothers. Terrorists can never be equated to prodigal sons who should be forgiven of their sins. They have shed human lives, for crying out loud. I wish you know the level of damage these guys, these criminals have done to this country. And yet, the government of the day still wants us to treat them as our brothers. I refuse to accept them as our brothers. They are criminals, and if for nothing, we should learn something even from the war in Iran.
Interesting.
Let them, the army should be very hard on them instead of trying to romance with them, because that is basically what we are asking for. That they should come into bed with us. We refuse to share bed with them, and we can never share bed with them. If the army cannot do the job, arm the citizens. Allow us to carry on. Let us do it ourselves.
All right, Barrister Anayo,
they should give us the right to do it.
We will indeed have you here again on the program, and we will further elaborate on this discussion to also get your perspective into deeper matters, especially the creation of state police, where we hear that the IGPDSO has presented a framework to the Nigerian Senate. But this will be in our next discussion with you. We must thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure to have you discuss matters on Morning Express.
Thank you very much for having me, my brother. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Well, that has been Barrister Anayo. Leveled against former AGF Abubakar Malami, and also the sudden spike in political court cases in the country gearing up to the 2027 general elections. Well, this is the size of it on Morning Express. At the top of the hour, our Uyo studios will pick it up with ADBN Sports. My name is Chijioke Okafo. Thank you so much for watching, and good morning, Nigeria.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. An Avo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linux Well TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Do you know what gamalin 20 is? It is a dangerous chemical pesticide never meant for human consumption. Sadly, some fishermen illegally use gamalin 20 to catch fish, poisoning not just the water, but the food on your plate. Here's how to spot fish caught with gamalin 20. Fish that look unusually fresh but stiff. A strange chemical smell, sometimes like kerosene, when cooked. Pale or bleached gills, peeling scales, or sunken eyes. Eating such fish can cause nausea, vomiting, and even damage your liver and kidneys. In severe cases, it can lead to life-threatening health complications. Remember, using gamalin 20 for fishing is a crime. It harms people, rivers, and marine life. Protect your health. Buy fish only from trusted sellers. Report suspicious fishing practices to the authorities. Together, let's keep our waters safe and our meals healthy.